Namaskar and welcome to this special presentation. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India and Bangladesh share a very special relationship, a bond that is nurtured by our common history, cultural ties, and close people-to-people connect. In the 21st century, this unique partnership now has taken a shape of developmental partnership with state-of-the-art connectivity infrastructure and also close cooperation during the crisis of COVID pandemic. In fact, this year marks 50 years of friendship between India and Bangladesh. And to talk about this unique relationship, I have with me a very special guest. We have with us Dr. Hasan Mahmud, Information and Broadcasting Minister of Bangladesh. Very warm welcome, sir. আপনাকে স্বাগত জানাই।
ধন্যবাদ।
সবথেকে প্রথম স্যার বলুন বাংলাদেশে সবাই কেমন আছেন? কোভিড প্যান্ডেমিকটা নিয়ে আমরা খুব চিন্তিত ছিলাম সবাই।
বাংলাদেশে কোভিড সিনারিও আমাদের মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী অত্যন্ত শক্ত হাতে অত্যন্ত ভালোভাবে মোকাবেলা করেছেন প্রথম ঢেউ এবং দ্বিতীয় ঢেউ। প্রথম ঢেউ অত্যন্ত সফলভাবে মোকাবেলা করে আমাদের ইকোনমিক অ্যাক্টিভিটিস, ইকোনমিক ডেভেলপমেন্ট, জিডিপি গ্রোথ রেট কন্টিনিউড। এবং দ্বিতীয় ওয়েভ এখন ধীরে ধীরে কন্ট্রোলে চলে এসছে। সেটি প্রথমে 34% ডিটেকশন রেট ছিল, এখন সেটি 8-9% নেমে এসছে। সুতরাং ভালোর দিকে, দিন দিন ভালোর দিকে।
Right. And sir, the relationship between India and Bangladesh has completed 5 decades. How do you see this journey, the value of the bond between the two nations?
Indeed, first of all, I would like to register my thanks and regards, gratitude to the people of India for their historic help during our independence war and the pain they inflicted in 1971 by giving refuge to 10 million people. And it would never be possible for us to liberate our country within 9 months period of time without the help of India. So relationship is bonded relationship. You cannot separate this relationship.
Right.
You had the same pain that we had during our independence. You had the same pain. So this year is the 50th anniversary of our independence and 50th anniversary of the relationship between India and Bangladesh. And over the last 5 decades, we have gone through a long journey, and every year the relationship has been strengthened.
Right. And on that point, I'm curious to know, how does the youth of today in Bangladesh look at the bond, with the friendship with India, who've perhaps not seen the independence struggle, but are born in this millennia?
Indeed, the youth generation, young people are more linked because of the ICT, social media, and everything. And sometimes when I go to Calcutta and in other parts of India, they tell me that we listen to your speech. I ask them, how do you listen my speech? Because there is no television of Bangladesh here in West Bengal or in other parts. So they say that we see the YouTube. So
right.
How people are connected because of the social media. The same for the young people actually. They are so more connected than our generation of a few decades back. And they feel more attached. And for better attachment, I think people-to-people contact should be increased and more cultural ties, because we share almost identical culture, identical values, identical food and everything. So that's why I think under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the ties between Bangladesh and relationship between Bangladesh and India has gone to new height over the last couple of years.
Right.
And now both the government are working to enhance the people-to-people contact.
Right. And talking about people-to-people contact, in fact, with your visit, there is a lot of anticipation and excitement around the manner in which this people-to-people contact, cultural connectivity is going to be enhanced. If you could tell us a little about your visit to New Delhi this time.
I am the first minister within 1.5 year time to visit India, because over the last couple of months, Corona situation here, and I was the last minister to visit India before the start of Corona in last February, in January, I think. And now I'm the first minister to visit. I had meeting with the Information and Broadcast Minister of India. Definitely, we discussed many things, how we can enhance more cultural ties between the two countries. And we have been working on different fronts actually to enhance the ties between, cultural ties between two countries. You know that we are doing a co-production of Bangabandhu biopic, and the director of Bangabandhu biopic is Shyam Benegal. He is from Bombay, from India. And we are going to make another movie on our independence war, and that would be also co-production. We discuss this matter, and this year and next year is very important year for both the countries. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary, and it will continue until March next year. And next year we will start celebrating 75th anniversary of independence. We discussed how we can do something together to celebrate the independence of both the countries,
right,
and the ties between two countries.
Right. Even amidst the challenge of the pandemic, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Bangladesh earlier this year to be a part of the Golden Jubilee celebrations of Bangladesh independence. If we talk about the leadership of the two countries, Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina of Bangladesh, how do you see the manner in which these leaders have brought in a certain dynamism in the bond?
Definitely, these two leaders has brought a new dynamism in the relationship. And to bring new dynamism in the relationship, both the leaders are very close to each other also. And I must be thankful as Minister of Bangladesh, as citizen of Bangladesh, despite many constraints, Corona scenario, still Sri Narendra Modi, Honorable Prime Minister of India, went to celebrate as guest in Bangladesh to celebrate our Golden Jubilee. And there was a big event in Bangladesh.
Right.
And the personal attachment between the two leaders, that has helped to bring new dynamism in the relationship between India and Bangladesh.
Right. And sir, if we talk a little about the current challenge that both the nation and the world are facing about the COVID pandemic, in fact, sharing of resources, whether it's vaccine or medical supply, has been a special hallmark of the relationship between the two countries. What is the situation as of now in Bangladesh, and what kind of partnership are the two countries looking at?
We are thankful to India. At the beginning, back in this year, at the beginning of this year, we started vaccination program,
right,
and we got a few millions vaccine as a gift from India, and we got under the agreement, we got vaccine from India also, from Serum Institute, vaccine of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. Afterward, the situation in India was worsened, and that's why you had the domestic requirement is quite normal, and that's why the supply was a bit slowed down. But we have to protect our people, and we have to share our sufferings together. Though from India, supply was a bit slowed down, is not stopped but slowed down, I would say. But still, India provided us ambulance and oxygen and etc., medical equipment, etc. This is the sharing of suffering. And also from Bangladesh, whatever we could, we tried to help India also. Right. So to control this Corona scenario, to face the Corona scenario, we should work together.
Right.
Today and tomorrow.
Right. India has a vision of Act East, in which Bangladesh is a key partner. We see a lot of infrastructure connectivity projects coming up, air, rail, and other means. Maitri Setu, in fact, is one such recent example. How do you see the value of these connectivity projects for the region as a whole and bringing the two nations closer?
Look, connectivity is very important for people-to-people contact and for the economic emancipation of the people of both countries, and for the economic development, and to make real the dream of the people is very important, connectivity. So that was stopped, that was not progressed much in the last few decades, But under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and Sri Narendra Modi, many projects have been taken. And there is Indian LOC also to complete these projects. And these are going on in full swing. Even in Corona scenario, these projects are going on. And this time I came via Agartala. And I had to come from Dhaka to Agartala by road. And I've seen the strengthening the road communication under Indian LOC is going on, and to connect Bangladesh and India.
How was it for you to take the roadways?
It was amazing, and I'm waiting for the days when the road construction will be completed, but strengthening the road. And that will benefit both the countries. That is, I'm talking about just Agartala. That is in different front.
Of course.
There's just a different front going. Not only the road connectivity, also the connectivity through rivers, connectivity through rail. In many front, we are strengthening the connectivity, and connectivity has been established. So that will benefit both the countries, and that will benefit the eastern states of India as well.
Right. And if we talk about our economies, both the economy of India and Bangladesh is seen as bright spots as far as the global context is concerned. Different points of convergence that we also see between the economies. What would you say the points of convergence, the points of cooperation, and also the points of competition, which is healthy between nations? How do you see the manner in which our economies can work together?
I would not say competition. I would say cooperation.
Sure.
You see, we have our own market. In India, huge population. In Bangladesh, also huge population in terms of the area.
Right.
The population is huge in Bangladesh. We have our own market, and this market is invaded by the foreign companies. So if you have our own product, and if you can sell this product to our people, that will benefit our economy, that will benefit our commerce, that will benefit our people. So in this respect, I think cooperation is very important.
And we are close trading partners.
We are close trading partner.
A $10 billion volume of trade. But what is the roadmap to enhance that? Both leaders, in fact, have spoken about reducing the tariffs and making trade more convenient between the countries.
Yeah, many barriers, tariff and non-tariff barrier has been lifted by both the countries. And connectivity has enabled us for more trade and commerce between two countries. So I think there are still some tariff and non-tariff barriers. And under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, we have chalked out the problems, and many has been resolved. Some is still to be resolved. I think if everything is resolved, both the countries will be benefited.
Right. And Dr. Mahmud, by training, also by practice, you have been an academician and also an environmentalist. The climate change crisis that the world faces, and I'm talking about the region here as a priority for developing countries like India and Bangladesh. How big is the crisis, and what is the vision that Bangladesh presents to tackle the challenge together?
You see, Bangladesh is one of the worstly affected country in the world due to climate change. Climate change is not threat in Bangladesh. Climate change is the reality. Threat, what is about to come, that is the threat. When it has come, that is no more threat, that is the reality. And all the negative factors of climate change are visible in Bangladesh. Salinity intrusion is the reality. Sea level rise is the reality in Bangladesh. Symptom of desertification in the northern part of Bangladesh is the reality. And erratic rainfall is reality. And soil erosion due to climate change, and flooding, more climatic events, storm, these are the realities in Bangladesh. The same reality you are facing in India also. And climate change is an issue. The cause of climate change is local, impact is global.
Right.
So emission is local, but the impact is global. And the challenge. I
also meant in terms of the burden of responsibility, which is often put on disproportionately on developing countries. On that point, how do you?
I think definitely, responsibility goes to the developed countries, because over the years they have polluted the world, and that is the effect we are facing today because of their indiscriminate emission and indiscriminate different action was taken by them for the betterment of their people. And the negative impacts are being faced by the developing countries like Bangladesh and India as well. So the responsibility, definitely prime responsibility, goes to the developed countries.
Right.
But the irony is that they do agree their responsibility, but they don't deliver.
Let's talk about the issue of security for the region of Indo-Pacific. Terrorism, extremism, these are common challenges that India faces, that Bangladesh faces. In this front, cooperation could be a force multiplier for the region. How do you see this possibility?
We do have cooperation.
Yes.
Because terrorism is not an issue of alone Bangladesh. It's not an issue of India alone. Because terrorists do have their link for terrorist attack among themselves in the region, in the globe. So to combat them, we must have cooperation, and we do have cooperation. And you see in Bangladesh, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, were quite successful. Then many developed countries in Bangladesh were quite successful in combating terrorism. You think about America, how many terrorist acts takes place in America every year, and that you compare with Bangladesh, and even you can compare with India. So we have the cooperation, we are enhancing the cooperation, and we are working on this issue together. We should work together, and we are working together.
Right, and this theme of security also really includes threats to democracy as well. Globally, if we see the manner in which democracies are threatened, they're eroded. We have an example of Myanmar, then Afghanistan, which is even more recent. As a thriving democracy in the region, how does Bangladesh look at these very worrisome developments?
The problem in Myanmar has affected directly to Bangladesh. It has affected Bangladesh directly. We have given refuge altogether about 1.5 million Myanmar refugee, because came 1.3 million and already 200,000 children are born till today, almost 200,000. So 1.5 million Myanmar refugees in Bangladesh, and we are feeding those people in Bangladesh, giving vaccination to those people, giving medical support to these people. So that has affected directly, and that is, posing a threat on our economy as well. And definitely, situation in Afghanistan is very important for whole region and for Bangladesh as well. The stability in Afghanistan is important for the stability of the region. We are keeping eye on that on Afghanistan.
Right. If we now talk about the legacy of our founding fathers, we all are very proud of the legacy of Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman. We also celebrated Bapu Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. The vision of these leaders together, how do you see that guiding the future of India and Bangladesh, and also uniting them in a manner?
Look, vision of both the leaders was the well-being of the people. And both the leaders struggled. Especially Bangabandhu spent 14 years in jail, and because of his struggle to liberate Bangladesh. And immediate after the Pakistan was created, he found that under the umbrella of Pakistan, the Bengalis would not be benefited. And on the very first celebration, Independence Day of Pakistan, on 14th August, on 12th August in 1948, he gave a statement in the newspaper, and it was published also as a leaflet, that this is not the day to celebrate. This is the day to take oath how to liberate the people of Bengal. That was the language of his statement. So he realized, and then he went through the sufferings of his personal suffering, went through the struggle of self-rule, and finally 6-point declaration. And after that, he called for independence, and independence war, and Bangladesh got independence. The same with Mahatma Gandhi. You see, Mahatma Gandhi is a great leader, not only great leader of India, great leader of whole world. The same with Bangabandhu. Bangabandhu is not only the leader of Bangladesh, he is a great leader of the world. So both leaders' vision was the same. And I believe over the last, in terms of Bangladesh, I would say, over the last 50 years, Bangladesh has gone a lot, has gone far in realizing the dream of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Today, in all respect, we are well ahead than Pakistan. In economic development, in social index, in human index, in economic index. In all index, we have crossed Pakistan at least 10 years back, 1 decade back. Our per capita is a lot higher than Pakistan. Our foreign currency reserve is more than 2 times higher than Pakistan. Our life expectancy is few years higher than Pakistan. So in realizing the dream of the people of Bangladesh, in realizing the dream of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Bangladesh now is no more is food deficit country, is food surplus country.
Yes.
Bangladesh is no more is a least developed country, is a developed country, developing country. The same with India, I think. Over the last 75 years, India has progressed a lot. Today, India is an economic power in the world, and whole world do care India.
And on that point, I'd like to know about the manner in which you look at the partnership. We started with that, with the liberation of Bangladesh, but as we're now talking about Bangladesh emerges as an economic engine for the region, how do you look at the partnership that India and Bangladesh can carry forward?
Definitely, partnership between India and Bangladesh will benefit both the countries. You look at Europe. In Second World War, they fought with each other.
Yes.
And until 2000, there was barrier to go from one country to another country. And then they realized this barrier does not benefit them. And now there is free movement of people, free movement of goods. So partnership between two countries, between Bangladesh and India, for economic development will benefit both the countries. And economic development, you cannot separate economic development from the region, no. That is not healthy, that is not sustainable. If Bangladesh economy becomes very developed, and the region is not developed, that is not healthy, that is not sustainable. The same if India becomes very economically developed and Bangladesh is left behind a lot back, that is not healthy, that is not sustainable. So cooperation is must.
Cooperation is the way forward. And so as we conclude this special conversation, বাংলায় আপনাদের জানতে চাইবো স্যার, আমাদের যে মৈত্রী সম্বন্ধ আছে দুটো দেশের ভেতরে, তো ওর ফিউচারটা আপনি কেমন করে দেখেন, আর ইউথ এই দুটো দেশের ওদের কি রোল হবে এতে?
আমি মনে করি আমাদের যে মৈত্রীর সম্পর্ক আছে এটি আরও স্ট্রেংথেন হওয়া দরকার, আরও ঘনিষ্ঠ হওয়া দরকার। আমি অপেক্ষা করছি যে এখন এক দেশ থেকে আরেক দেশে যাওয়ার সময় ভিসা নেওয়ার যে ঝামেলা দুই দেশের মানুষকে পোহাতে হয়, এমন একটা দিন কখন আসবে আমি অপেক্ষা করছি। বর্ডারে যাবে, পাসপোর্টটা দেখাবে, চলে আসবে। বাংলাদেশের মানুষ ইন্ডিয়ায় আসবে, ইন্ডিয়ার মানুষ বাংলাদেশে যাবে। এখন তো একজন শিল্পীকে বাংলাদেশে যেতে 3টা মন্ত্রণালয়ের অনুমতি লাগে। দ্য সেম বাংলাদেশ থেকে কোনো শিল্পীকে যদি ইন্ডিয়ায় আসতে হয় অনেক দপ্তরের অনুমতি লাগে একটা শিল্পীকে। অথচ আমরা একই ভাষায় গান গাই, একই পাখির কলতান শুনি, একই নদীর আমরা অববাহিকায় বড় হচ্ছি, জন্ম হচ্ছি, একই বাতাস আমরা শেয়ার করি, একই জলবায়ুতে আমরা বসবাস করি। কিন্তু এখান থেকে ওখানে যেতে হলে এই যে ঝক্কি ঝামেলা, এটা অবশ্যই দুই দেশের মধ্যে কিছু থাকতে হবে, কিন্তু এমনটা হওয়া উচিত নয় যেটি দুই দেশের মানুষের পিপল টু পিপল কন্ট্যাক্টের ক্ষেত্রে ব্যারিয়ার হিসাবে দাঁড়ায়। তো আমি স্বপ্ন দেখি সেই দিনের কখন এই ব্যারিয়ারগুলো অনেক সহজ হয়ে যাবে।
Right. On that note, onek dhanyabad, Dr. Hasan Mahmud. Thank you very much for joining us for this special conversation. Of course, the road ahead is bright and full of hope for India and Bangladesh. Thank you very much. And with that, we conclude this special presentation on DD India. News and updates continue after a short break. Namaskar.